Lazcano has been landing some really nice short right hands on the inside, just like that.
Yeah, he countered that left hook there with a beautiful right hand. He noticed that Castillo was throwing one left hook and stopping, so right after he followed with a beautiful right hand.
Let's go, Joe.
Brave round 7 for Juan Lazcano, who by CompuBox count threw 75 punches. Highest output of the fight, landed 23. That against 12 of 53 for Castillo. And if you agree with Harold Letterman's scoring, Lazcano has taken over the lead in the fight now with this mid-round rally that puts him 1 point ahead. Interesting difference in technique here, Roy, as we watch the two fighters. Jose Luis Castillo's back foot is almost always flat on the canvas with the heel down touching the canvas. Juan Lazcano's back foot is usually up in the forward tilted track star position.
Yeah, because Juan Lazcano is a boxer, where Jose Luis Castillo is a puncher. And that's the difference. A puncher keeps his keeps everything on the floor so he can get more power. He wants his feet more flatter so he can generate a lot of power. The other guy is throwing more punches, so he can't afford to keep his feet planted in one spot.
Out.
Lazcano does a better job also, Roy, of holding his hands high, not getting hit with big, clean punches.
Yeah, the reason he's doing that, though, is because he has respect for Castillo's power. Castillo still has no respect for Lazcano's power.
Out.
Lazcano trying to prove here that turning down 2 opportunities to fight Floyd Mayweather, one of them for $1 million, though only on 2 weeks' notice, was good business, not bad business.
Well, I'm going to say this much. My thing is, being a fighter and knowing he wants to make money, but if he feels like he couldn't win, he's right. Don't take the fight if you can't win it.
And there's Castillo with another big left-hand shot as Lazcano begins to tire, it seems, and slows slightly toward the latter part of round 8.
If you look, Castillo has been really working Lazcano's body throughout this entire fight, and that is what's starting to make a difference right now.
Ebb and flow, shifting tides of fortune. Castillo was the commander early. Lazcano gradually worked his way into tactical superiority. Now Castillo is throwing heavy shots in round 8 to try to reverse the damage again, but there's another big right hand by Juan Lazcano.
And both of their trunks are drenched with their blood.
Every time Lazcano puts together a good number of punches, he usually catches Castillo with the last punch. And it's usually a pretty big punch like that right hand was.
Good body shot by Castillo. Tries a wild left hook upstairs and misses. Lazcano comes back with a body flurry of his own. Interesting round. Castillo trying to step up the pressure and assert himself once again. We've got a very even feeling fight through 8 rounds. Here's Bernard Hopkins meditating as he prepares to face Robert Allen for the 3rd time in his career. Their first fight ended in a no contest when referee Mills Lane inadvertently pushed Bernard Hopkins through the ropes and out of the ring, spraining Hopkins' ankle. Their second fight saw Allen on the canvas 5 different times, 2 of them ruled official knockdowns. It was ultimately a TKO victory for Bernard Hopkins, a fight in which he felt as though he ultimately humiliated Robert Allen. We'll see what he can do tonight against Allen for the 3rd time.
On the inside, when you're in here, you gotta do what that control that little short right hand. Do you understand?
Come on, Joe, here we go.
Combinations, Juan. Keep the pressure on him. Do you hear me?
Let's go, Joe.
The unsightly bubble of blood under Lazcano's left eye continues to grow. As Larry Merchant mentioned, it's a bucket of blood fight already as we go into the 9th. 8th round CompuBox numbers. Lazcano 23 of 69, Castillo 22 of 73. As the fight goes on, generally speaking, they're both throwing more and landing more. Good news for the fans down the stretch.
What else you have to watch here is they're playing a real difficult old school game with each other's arms. When one guy tries to hold, they're taking their arms and turning to the inside with their upper body, trying to hurt or cause damage to the other arm. And you got to see this kind of stuff when you're inside. You don't see this from young fighters too often, but these veterans, you see it a lot.
Lazcano landing more shots, Castillo landing the harder shots. That's been the pattern throughout much of the middle part of the fight.
Alto, alto.
Lest you think Jose Luis Castillo will tire or suffer malaise down the stretch of such a difficult and grueling fight. Harold Letterman points out to us he lives in Mexicali, Mexico, where Harold once got off a bus to find that the temperature was 126 degrees. Castillo's great quote to Letterman was, "When the devil takes a vacation, he goes to Mexicali."
Alto, alto, alto. Suelto, no. Let him go.
Good uppercut.
Castillo likes to throw the uppercut. Now Lazcano hot shots him with a left hook, catches him with a straight left. Almost got him down, but Castillo bounced back off the ropes and went right back to work with big shots.
Yeah, that was mainly because he was off balance, not because he was really hurt.
And now Castillo wants to make that point and lands two vicious body shots to Lazcano's ribs.
See how Lazcano is turning his inside, his left arm in once he gets Castillo's hand between his armpit.
Lazcano's face increasingly the worse for Warrior. The left eye is badly swollen. The right eye is starting to swell as well. Blood coming from the nose and the mouth. Still, he's right there in the fight with Jose Luis Castillo.
And he still has a chance because Castillo still does not respect his power. And Lazcano is throwing some pretty good punches.
He could wind up back in the dressing room with a loss, still not respecting the power.
You're right.
Castillo's face is much less marked than that of Lazcano. Does that affect the mindset of judges, Roy, more than it should?
I don't think it really affects the mindset of judges because this stuff is happening in numbers. It's not happening from one punch. It's happening from an accumulation of punches, which both guys are landing and taking.
Okay, you're on your way to winning. Yeah, don't go back. Don't go back. Okay, don't go back. You're giving him the distance when you go back. Don't go back. Go inside in his guard, and then you attack him. In combinations, from the bottom up.
You were pressuring him. You didn't hurt him when you were going back. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Give me some more water right here in the towel. Right there. Right on his chest. Come on. There you go. In his mouth. Give him some in his mouth. You know what you got to do, right? No, don't start dropping your hands because he almost clipped you with the hook. You had your hands down. Okay? Take a deep breath.
It's a good thing on this punch, Roy, that Castillo wasn't in the middle of the ring because he could have gone down.
Actually, he would have gone down had the ropes not been there to catch him, but it's mainly because he's off balance. See how he's leaning back so far already? He had nowhere else to go.
Let's go, Joe.
CompuBox numbers in the 9th round saw Castillo landing 28 out of 75, including 25 of 59 power shots. That's very good against 16 of 69 for Lazcano. Very close fight coming to the 10th. Harold, how do you have it?
Okay, Jim. 5 rounds to 4, 86-85, Jose Luis Castillo. Jim, the last 2 rounds, you know, Juan Lazcano, I tell you, he's so busted up, you get the impression that he's having a hard time seeing that right hand coming. One thing I wanted to comment on that Roy Jones said real quick, the judges score the blood too often. It's a shame, but it's true.
No, stop.
So at least in Harold's perspective, he thinks it is a disadvantage for Lazcano to look the way he does in these last 3 rounds as Castillo has the less marked face.
Well,
they trade shots again.
In a close fight, you know, with so many close rounds, it doesn't take much for a referee to give it to a judge to give it to one fight or the other, and sometimes that could be the telling point.
That's true, but some guys cut and mark up a lot easier than other guys, and they may not only be winning the fight, they may be the more dominant guy in the ring. But it's just that the one shot that he does take shows much worse than the other fighter does.
The 3 judges, Adelaide Bird, Dwayne Ford, and Dalby Shirley, all veterans, all with deep backgrounds and dossiers. They've seen blood before.
And if you know Castillo, you know not to expect too much damage from him anyway.
Alto.
This is a tough, grueling fight between two experienced professionals.
Ring Magazine's #1 and #2 ranked lightweights fighting to be recognized as the legitimate lightweight champion of the world.
You saw Lazcano hold that left arm there like I was telling you earlier.
Yeah, he was. He was holding it with one arm and hitting him with the other right over it.
Old school, baby.
That's old school stuff.
Old school. Wait till you see Bernard Hopkins do it. Want to see the state of the art.
Out.
That'll be in the very next fight. Hopkins against Robert Allen. A vicious cauldron of pressure in the corner as Jose Luis Castillo hammers away at Juan Lazcano's body. And Lazcano finds or tries to find a way to regain the initiative in the fight.
Out.
Lazcano is really trying hard to get him out of there, though.
None of Lazcano's 4 children are here to see their dad looking the way he looks right now. That's probably good. Castillo once again with a big left hook to the body. Lazcano painted him with a right hand, but Castillo just keeps coming back and throwing those hard shots.
A true veteran.
And there's Robert Allen warming up for his 3rd assignment against Bernard Hopkins. Allen, the ex-Marine, says Hopkins can't intimidate me. This time I'll have him. In what Allen himself has said might be a rough, foul-filled fight. More on that as we build up to Hopkins versus Allen. And here's Bernard Hopkins warming up, hitting the pads in his own dressing room. Consummate veteran of the sport, 39 going on 27. Knows everything there is about what can be done and what you can get away with in a boxing ring. Undisputed middleweight championship of the world on the line as Hopkins tries to extend his already record streak for title defenses in that division.
Lazcano's going to have to dig as deep as he's ever dug before to pull this out.
Lazcano landed 19 of 70 punches in round 10. That's a good effort. But Castillo landed 33 out of 86. 29 of them power shots.
Just keeps on coming, and it keeps on getting better. Castillo, that is.
Yep. Once again, they're fighting for the 135-pound championship of the world. And the way the sport is now conducted with weigh-ins 27 hours before the fight, you're looking at 2 junior middleweights in the ring. As Lazcano came in over 149 pounds, having weighed in at 135, and Castillo came in over 150 pounds at 151, having weighed in at 134.5. Big, strong guys. At close range, Castillo taking over.
It's the body shots that are giving him that advantage, though.
Lazcano trying to hold his own in there when they're shoulder to shoulder, but eventually he tires and stops throwing, and Castillo just keeps on coming.
Yep,
and now as they get to range, he pumps it upstairs with the big shots.
Yeah, he's showing some nerve, though. Look at both of his eyes. He's still trying his hardest, and both of his eyes are almost shut.
Yeah, this is a tremendously courageous performance by Juan Lazcano, if not as effective as he might have wanted it to be.
Oh, good body shot.
And a left hook upstairs by Castillo. And Lazcano is now really getting the worst of it as we come down the stretch in the 11th. 4 minutes left in the fight. Juan Lazcano searching, increasingly frustrated, looking for answers.
Must be difficult, very difficult when you hit this guy with everything you got, and he just constantly keeps coming at you.
Juan Lazcano hasn't lost a fight in nearly 6 years. He's up against it now as he gets ready to try to go to the 12th round against Jose Luis Castillo. And I say try because it's a question in my mind whether a ring doctor is going to allow Lazcano to enter that 12th round.
You are exactly right. But he's fighting so hard, you almost have to give him that much respect.